GERENetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the GERE Radio Network.
Welcome everyone, this is Sleazy, and welcome back to part 2 of our amazing episode of our 8th anniversary show. Once again, we have JC Money on the show. We're talking tonight about Survivor Series and Full Gear. So check us out right now.
Okay, you guys want to talk about Survivor Series?
Sure. I can hang out a little longer for that.
Okay, so we give our thoughts on the matches individually, then overall thoughts on the show. We do star ratings, and then we compare star ratings, not only to Dave Meltzer, but since this was Sunday, we're doing John Canton's. You know who John Canton is?
John Canton, no, I'm afraid I do not.
Friend of the show, Sleazy,
yes.
like to say.
Yes.
He's from Canada. He does TGR wrestling. He's just a big blogger for wrestling. And so, let's do that. So, pre-show, anyone watch it?
Nope.
I was very, very happy that Miz won, and eliminating Dominic was the perfect little way to give Dominic just enough of a shine, but then the Miz got to take it away from him.
I did see that on the highlight, and I would agree with that sentiment. I think that Dominic should probably go to NXT for a bit.
I agree.
He's very green. It shows, and it's not like a bad thing. It's not a slam on him because he does cool stuff, but he very much looks like a 12-year-old. And he just does not look ready to be in that kind of spotlight. I think if he was working on NXT, it would be as close to the indies, the super indies, as possible for him to gain that experience, but also work with people like Gargano and Ciampa, and have Shawn Michaels and Matt Bloom as your coach and Triple H there watching you and helping you develop. I mean, the NXT system, people can say whatever they want about it, but they pump out talent.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're very good at that.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't harm Dominic to be drafted or placed on NXT or something.
Okay. Okay match for a house show. It was a battle royal.
Oh, dude. The house shows that no longer exist now, so you gotta. In order to get the house show experience, you gotta watch pre-shows of pay-per-views now.
Oh, damn.
Sleazy and I went to an NXT house show. 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was the one in Albany.
Every match, it was like right before WrestleMania, so every match was safe. Every match was just average,
and every single face went over.
Every single face went over.
It was like
So when I say it's an okay match for a house show, it's 2.5 stars. It's average. Just an average match.
A warm bowl of water.
Okay. Main show proper. Men's Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw, which was AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, Keith Lee, Riddle, no Matt, and Sheamus versus Team SmackDown, which is Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, I miss Kevin Steen, King Corbin, Otis, and Seth Rollins. Match went 19 minutes and 25 seconds. Sleazy.
I thought it was an interesting way to open the show. Raw doing the queen sweep already. The clean sweep was interesting. I kind of get why Rollins sacrificed himself, but I don't. Because he's the savior.
Time off.
Well, that's the real reason.
Well, yeah,
but from a storyline perspective, I would have liked them to just like beat the shit out of him, not just take eat one move and call it a day. But that's just me. having Jay basically get trucked after his entire team gets blown up, cool. It was a good way to start the heat of the actual show. So I liked it. I give it about 3.5 stars.
So my notes, because I do notes. I actually prepare for the show. Unlike Sleazy, who has
hence the OCD producer part.
And that's why he's the Hall of Famer and I'm just a bitch.
Yep. You should see when we do watch-alongs.
First step towards recovery is admitting there's a problem, Mike.
He's been in hemorrhagic porn rehab like 4 times now. It's amazing.
It's only twice.
Whatever. But you should see when we do watch-alongs.
I actually made a porn reference on a phone call that I got today. I actually posted it. When I get out of Facebook jail, I'll post the goddamn link on Facebook tomorrow. But I had one of the robocallers call about my Amazon account and my suspicious activity of a $1,400 iPhone 11 purchase.
Ooh.
We're in iPhone 12 now, folks. So, you'd have thought they would have updated that script. Well, anyways, they, without spoiling it, to those that may not have listened, a porn reference was made. He was so thrown off. It was, it was fun.
You can check that out.
The JC Money Show.
On GereNetwork.com.
At 8 a.m. on your podcast feed. The video of it is actually up right now as we speak. And by tomorrow, I mean the 25th, as of this recording.
Yes.
But it's up there. It's up there now. It's fun. I basically channel the Jerky Boys and, have fun with them.
All right. So in my notes, I think that Rollins sacrifice spot was stupid. Don't understand why he did it. Why didn't his team help? That makes no sense. Besides that, I thought it was well booked. Raw did Queen. I did the same thing.
Yes.
Raw clean swept them, and every member of Raw got an elimination.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But each member of SmackDown got time to shine, so it didn't look like it was a dominant win for Raw, even though they did sweep. There was no infighting, which was like every single Survivor Series they've done in the last 4 years. 3 stars. I liked it. John agreed. 3 stars.
Okay.
John Canton. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ryan.
With Raw the next night, it made sense, but I feel like main event Jay should have got 2 or 3 eliminations before he got taken out of the match.
Okay.
I would share a similar sentiment to that. Although, from my perspective, the teams very, very much did not look even to begin with. So immediately, as somebody that was watching Survivor Series purely because it was advertised as the final farewell for The Undertaker, I hadn't watched much of any of the event prior to. I think the last time I watched a full WWE show was probably about 6 months ago. And I think the last time I caught any bit of WWE was the Roman Reigns Jey Uso feud, which I was actually into. And I'm kind of still into that story. Like, I'm kind of curious to see where that whole story goes, if main event Jay is actually going to be main event Jay, because I think that would be so 2020, it would be a random left field character, person to be pushed in that spot. And, cousin Roman is doing his best to make that work out for him too. You can absolutely tell.
There is no way.
This match, I could not have cared less for.
Oh, wow.
It just didn't resonate with me. I think what resonated most with me was how they got everybody to on the Raw team to unite and actually team up. You know what I mean? Instead of the infighting, like Fat Man mentioned, and So that part was cool, but otherwise, I really couldn't have given a shit about that match.
Wow, that's interesting.
Okay, moving on. We have champions versus champion match. The New Day, which are the Raw Tag Team Champions, I remember, versus the Street Profits, which are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Match with 13 minutes and 40 seconds. Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast.
This match and Reigns McIntyre made the pay-per-view for me. I like the flow of everything. And side note, what a fucking wasted opportunity not to turn Big E fucking heel.
They might be waiting for a bigger audience for that to happen, if even that happens. I kind of subscribe to the theory of, all of this talk about, when is the New Day going to split up, and turn on one another. I kind of like the fact that it hasn't happened yet, and in a weird and sadistic fuck you to the fans kind of way, I hope it doesn't. Just because it would be tremendous for the fans to get that one wrong. And it would be okay with me that they got that one wrong, because collectively they are a really good cohesive unit. And you can tell that they enjoy their jobs much better when they're together. You can just tell. You can't make up that kind of chemistry on acting or whatever. So I'm glad they didn't turn Big E heel there. But much like you said, Ryan, that match was a fantastic match. It was a fantastic match. It almost looked like Kofi is slowing a little bit. I don't know if he's hurt, but he seemed a half step slower than he normally was. Maybe that was by design or whatever, but either way, it was a good torch passing, so to speak, giving the younger team, because the New Day doesn't need to shine anymore. They're already the New Day. They can go and they can lose the next 100 matches. They'll still be the New Day. People will still pop for them. People will still root for them. The Street Profits are something. They have that it factor. And this was Kofi and Woods acknowledging that and kind of doing for them what others did for them, and put the Street Profits, legitimize them, I feel. Because, it's one thing to wrestle at WrestleMania against Angel Garza and whomever the hell else he was there because of, they couldn't get anybody there. It's one thing for that, but, to actually go in there with the tag team like the New Day, will be WWE Hall of Famers when it's all said and done, and have their place etched in history for a variety of different reasons. That's big. That's big on a team. And so I think it was a solid match, and it definitely legitimized the Profits.
Sleazy.
Okay, I'll be the dick of the team here. I'm not going to bitch about the match. The match was phenomenal. But I've always had this problem, and it started when Primo and Epico started holding the penny belts. When they took those two sets of beautiful belts, the World Tag Team Championship and the WWE Tag Team Championship.
I'm going to stop you. I already know where you're going.
Oh, you damn sure know where I'm going.
Two minority teams fighting over penny belts. Yeah, I got it.
The only belts that are silver, not even gold. Not even NXT belts are silver.
You're reading way too much into it.
I know, but it gets me. It gets to me because even though it's technically just the minorities here, but also even before that, it's always been a division that's kind of thrown off to the side. And those belts kind of show that.
As the only, I think, minority of the four here.
Hey, I am Asian by insertion.
Yes, but I'm a Hispanic by blood.
Ryan's Canadian. He has you all.
But, like, I didn't even think anything of that. All I think is that the belts suck.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
I
terrible
don't
belts.
like those belts. Like, I like the old Reggie Parks belts from the 80s and 90s. I like those. I liked the not the Raw's version, but the original SmackDown version.
Yep.
Of the tag team belts, which was sort of like the same shape as the Reggie Parks ones, but was it, a little more modernized better.
Mm-hmm.
I liked those tag team belts, but like the copper and silver, like knighted tag team belts, I was never a fan of. Even when the Bludgeons held, I think it was the SmackDown titles.
Yep.
Sleazy,
I was not a fan. I'm not a fan of that design in general, but notwithstanding, I do think it now is at least slightly more eye appealing than just a giant WWE logo as the main plate on the two main belts for both your men and your women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's stupid too.
And I agree with that. That's why my favorite belts are the IC belt and the US title right
Boo.
now. Yeah, here comes the shit. But
the new IC title's trash.
You know what? My favorite belt in all of wrestling history is the Intercontinental Championship to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Closely followed by the NWA United States Championship belt.
Yes.
Ooh, that's nice.
The Reggie Parks Intercontinental Championship belt and the NWA United States Championship belt are the two designs of those respective championships that I absolutely love, and will love forever. And I already own the Reggie Parks one. I don't own the NWA one yet, but that's in the 2021 plans. But I don't hate the current versions of these belts. Like like the Intercontinental one, for example. Like, that's definitely not the worst design. The one that The Rock had from 1998 all the way through 2003 or whenever, before Cody Rhodes brought back the old belt, like that, like actual, yeah, that one sucked. That one was the worst variation of them all. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to the one that Greg the Hammer Valentine destroyed after Tito Santana won it.
I think I like that one better than the new one, though.
The new one's cool. I really like that new United States Championship, though. I can't lie. I think that new U.S. belt's pretty dope.
It's pretty decent.
I feel the United States is too small on it. That's the only nitpick about it. Like, if the United States was just a little bit bigger to read that part too, I think the belt would be great.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly, the United States belt designs have really not been bad over the course of time, honestly. No. I mean, the WCW United States one was pretty good too. And obviously the WWE's first version of the title lasted 20 years. So, and it wasn't a terrible championship either. It was like the size, it was just like a bigger version of their light heavyweight title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tangent. What I thought of the tag team match. It was an okay. No, I'm kidding. I thought it was a really good match. Great action. I thought the Profits winning was the right call. 3.5 stars.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that when you have that type of passing of the torch, especially it's absolutely needed right now, they needed that rub, I think, because currently who have they faced? You know what I mean? You look at the
Angel Garza and Andrade, and then they faced, I think, Angel Garza and Andrade, and then I think they faced Angel Garza and Andrade, and then I think they faced Angel Garza and Andrade.
Hey, there was but who was the one guy that was with Angel Garza at WrestleMania that the Profits won?
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory,
that's it. What the hell happened to him?
Went back to NXT.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
He got blamed for some Me Too shit, and then that was it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, Riddle's on the main roster.
Yeah, but Riddle, I was like, nah, man. Austin Theory just kind of went away for a bit. Wait, can we forget about it, please?
That's one way of dealing with it, I guess.
I mean, that's honestly, I didn't even know his name, but he competed at one more WrestleMania than Barry Hardy did. So,
hey,
Okay.
So did Rob Gronkowski.
What's that?
So did Rob Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski has more wins in the WWE than Barry Hardy did.
He has the same amount. He has the same amount of wins as Michael Cole.
And Rob Gronkowski shit the bed last night for my Bucks. I'm not happy. Not happy.
Ha.
All because Tom Brady is like, wide open Mike Evans. Let's triple cover Antonio. Let's throw triple coverage into Antonio Brown.
My team's 0-10.
Oh, yeah, you're a Jets fan. I forgot.
I'm counting down. I want the 0-16. I will not only do I want the 0-16 season to happen, but I also want Adam Gase, the head coach, to walk directly from the locker room after they go 0-16 all the way to Canton, Ohio to get his hideous yellow blazer, because going 0-16 should automatically qualify you for immediate entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
He's terrible. Terrible.
I don't even know.
If Adam Gase, if my daughters were like, hey, we want to play football, and I'd say, okay, well, let's go look at, just for the sake of we're at a Rush Henrietta, okay, let's go look at the Rush Henrietta program. Who's the coach? Who's the football coach of your Pee Wee League team? Oh, it's Adam Gase? Fuck that. I wouldn't have Adam Gase coach a Pee Wee League football team. He would be too underqualified for that.
Wow.
But he does deserve automatic entry into the Hall of Fame if he can successfully get an 0-16 season out of the Jets. Okay, back to Survivor Series.
Another champion versus champion match. U.S. champion Brock Lesnar versus the Intercontinental champion Sami Zayn. 7 minutes and 50 seconds. It was a nice little story in the match. I think Zayn trying to play the chicken shit heel was entertaining. I gave it 2 stars. It was an extended squash for Lashley, but I think is what it needed to be.
I would say yes. I think I would agree with your sentiment there, that it was more to get over both people's respective characters. I think it did that part justice. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn did his great liberator as much as he could, but ran into a brick wall of Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business that just didn't give a shit. So it told those respective stories well. But it did kind of feel like it was a match that was just thrown together just because they made the cardinal mistake of advertising champion versus champion. Mm-hmm. There was no real meaning behind it. It was just, well, we said champion versus champion. You two happen to be these champions. Here you go. And, and they did what they could out of it, but I don't think it harmed their characters in any way. Mm-hmm. I think it told the right story for each character because of how they've been going in there. Bobby Lashley's been, he's the ass kicker. Sami Zayn's the shit talker. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn tried to talk his shit out of there. He tried to do the little cheap heat thing where he bumped into MVP and then threw himself to make it seem like MVP tripped him. Mm-hmm. That was fun. And then, Lashley just saying, fuck this.
That should have been the finish.
What's that?
They should have DQ'd him.
That should have been the finish.
Yeah, I think that would have been a hilarious finish, and I don't think it would have done any damage to the characters either way.
Nope.
Because it would be very apropos of Sami Zayn to do something like that. But I feel like maybe they had to give Raw something. Because yes, they gave them the clean sweep with the Survivor Series match, but they just gave SmackDown the tag team match, the tag team supremacy. So if they're going to give, they were likely going to give Roman mm-hmm. the spot, so they had to kind of bring it back somewhere to try and even it out a bit. So
also,
it just was what it was.
Also, you have to put into perspective that if he wins that way, he wasn't cheated out of the win.
Right.
So it works better that it didn't work and he gets mauled at the end. I've always had an issue with heel versus heel matches, but for this particular match, I think it worked really well.
I think if there were a live crowd, I think the Hurt Business at this point would be tweeners.
Yeah, well, especially considering what they've been doing on, Raw with Retribution. Because when that first started, it was basically one heel faction versus another heel faction. Mm-hmm. And now they've shown themselves to be more of straight mercenaries, which
like the APA.
Yeah. And I think they've done a better job of that lately. When this first started, I didn't like it at all because it just didn't work. And once again, you're trying to get over a new faction in Retribution, especially with the way they debuted and having them lose all the time.
Well, I think when they started letting Bobby Lashley be Bobby Lashley, instead of just being this wannabe, like, silent Brock Lesnar destroyer character, like they actually let Lashley have some of the personality that he displayed when he was in Impact.
Yeah.
When you top that with, MVP, who is entertaining as fuck. It really wasn't until they started letting Lashley be Lashley, and then they brought Shelton Benjamin in the mix. When they had Lashley, Benjamin, and MVP, I think they were starting to get come onto something because, Benjamin's cool as a cat, and he plays that role very, very well. And then I think with the addition of Cedric Alexander, I like what they did. They didn't force it down everybody's throat like they did with Retribution. Mm-hmm. They just kind of let it slow build, and it did, and I think it's come out very well.
Ryan.
I didn't like it. And I'm not very picky over WWE's fucking booking and like how they do the shows and stuff. I just thought it was okay for a pre-show.
It was okay for a pre-show.
I get the gimmicks and what they were doing. I just still wasn't invested. I don't know what it was about it. Like,
it wasn't a match that I think you would. It was a match that I think you otherwise would not see in any circumstance. I don't know what other way you would have Sami Zayn cross paths with Bobby Lashley unless it was a comedy spot.
I will give it the little throwback credit of Sami Zayn saying he had vertigo. I thought that was a little, that was nice to the feud last year.
I didn't get that reference. That I must have missed.
They feuded last year sometime during one of their matches. Like, Lashley beat the fuck out of
Lashley held him up for like a gross amount of time, and Sami Zayn spent weeks going, I got vertigo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That was a whole thing.
All right. That makes it even funnier then.
I think the best part of the match wasn't the match, but Sammy's promo on Twitter beforehand. Oh my fucking God. If you guys have a spare few minutes and you want a good laugh, just go back and look at that.
Was it the one where he retweeted like the picture and said, "Could you make him not look as menacing" or something like that?
That was one of them, but this was an actual video promo about how he was talking about, he's got me beat because he's strong. Yeah, duh, obviously, but I'm smart, and he's only the champion of the United States. I'm the champion of intercontinental stuff. It was so over the top. It was amazing.
So that's what Graves and him were referencing.
Yes.
When I think it was Graves that said it's literally the name of the title. The name is on the title.
Yes.
Lying.
That's where the reference comes from. And it was actually a really, really good promo. Obviously because it's Sami Zayn, but it was just really, really well done.
That's awesome.
All right, another champion versus champion match. SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha. Versus some stupid ass Asian that's a Raw Women's Champion. Match with 13 minutes and 5 seconds. Sleazy, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast. I gotta pee.
Of course he does. You have no show bladder.
Nope, but I'll be back.
He just don't want to hear you talk. That's all that is.
More than once, you're playing with it.
Obviously, it was a great match. They kind of first.
It's your 8-year anniversary. I need another highlight.
Yeah, so. It was.
You know, if you fuckers did scheduled commercials, you could just do scheduled commercials.
Yeah, well, fuck, you know.
But no.
If we only had a fucking executive producer that put commercials in for us.
For what you said, but shut up, Sleazy.
You're welcome.
Okay, anyways. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. The match was awesome, obviously. It was 9 stars. It would have been 10 if it were in the Tokyo Dome. They foreshadowed it right at the beginning that Sasha hasn't beaten Asuka. This was the time for the rub because she just turned face and she needed a dominant win over an opponent that she's had a hard time with. And we talked about this beforehand. Sasha's a great performer. Asuka, obviously amazing. I will always say top 5 women's wrestler always and forever.
Oh, I know Sasha is.
Hashtag 914. Yeah. Here we go.
Hashtag Sasha's hotter. Hashtag doesn't matter. Hashtag house show.
Hashtag.
So my take on this match was, unfortunately, I did not watch the match, but I listened to it because I ate a lot of chicken wings. And I had to take a shit, and it was a photo finish. So it wasn't any one of those things that I could have held off until, the other Survivor Series match. But, so I listened to the match and it sounded cool, but I was taking a shit.
Oh, well.
And so, cool. Sasha won.
Sleazy, what'd you give it?
He
9 stars.
9 stars.
9 stars?
10 if it were in the Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo Dome. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Even with your girl losing?
I'm okay with it here because it was needed.
I think the right person did win.
Yeah.
Not the Sasha mark in me, but the right person did win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was a great match. Like always between these two. Some callbacks, the counter and everything, because they had so many matches leading up to it. 3 3/4. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Did Ryan talk about it?
Ryan never really cared about it.
Ryan's good. I'm gonna fucking buy a plane ticket, go to fucking Newfoundland, and punch you in the fucking ovary.
Listen, I watched this match by smoking through a screen, smoking outside, but the door was glass so I could see it. So I didn't really hear much. Didn't really pay attention.
What were you smoking?
Fuck them bitches. Fuck them bitches.
I want to. Well, at least one of them.
I'm not that guy to be joking like that anymore, man.
Oh, I am. Sleazy's married.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I would.
And I have a girlfriend, but I don't care.
I don't care.
She knows.
So that's your hall pass.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What if you got a hall pass? That's his hall pass.
Hey, I mean,
hey, I'm not knocking nobody on a hall pass. My hall pass is Alexa Bliss, and the wife's hall pass is Shawn Michaels. So
wait, hold on. You can't have Alexa.
You can't claim 2 women.
Yes, I can. I have bids on her, remember?
Oh, yeah, you do have bids on her.
I would drag my balls through 10 miles of broken glass just to have Alexa after you.
Oh,
John's like, what the fuck did I get into?
I mean,
welcome to the wrestling show with Sleazy the Fat Man.
In another lifetime, I would have probably joked around or throw my 2 cents around like that, but I truly am not that guy anymore. So I'll leave. I will defer to the 3 of you for that type of shit.
I will say that as much as we joke about, that kind of stuff here, but in all reality and all sincerity, the resurgence of women's wrestling as a legitimate art form, not as mud wrestling / let's see if we can get them in their bikinis or less in 15 minutes while a lot of the marks are out eating or grabbing popcorn or taking a piss or taking a shit.
man.
Smoking weed.
Or smoking weed over here.
What's wrong with smoking weed?
Ryan.
Yeah, hey,
Canadian.
hey,
He's smoking blunts with Sabu over there.
Hi.
oh, yeah, that was amazing. I love that. That was a wicked booking weekend. But
And there's nothing, no one's going to take that away from you.
Except
Easter
Alzheimer's.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Easter Sunday in my shed behind my house. It was fantastic.
When we went to New Orleans, it was either New Orleans or Dallas. Sabu was at Comic-Con, and I walked up to him and I go, Newfoundland shed. He started laughing his ass off. He's like, oh, so you know Ryan. He met you by name. I'm like, yeah, I know him. I'm like, he's one of my podcast buddies. He's like, really? He's like, you do a podcast with him? I go, yeah. He's like, oh, that's cool.
And you gave him the link, and you know what happened? He probably forgot to even listen to it.
Oh, absolutely. My fucking
100%.
God. While we're on the subject, Sabu, I do want to do a quick shoot side off. His, I want to say girlfriend, if it's more than that, great, but I don't know for sure. Melissa Coates, spent the last month in the hospital. She had a major blood clot in her artery in one of her legs and had to have it amputated.
Shit.
It's a terrible thing. There is a GoFundMe out there on, Sabu's shoot, page, Terry Brunk. If you guys have a spare moment, share it. If you can donate, please do so.
I think they're just managee.
They've been
I didn't think.
they've been kind of close over the last couple of years. I do know that. I don't know how close. Let's just put it that way.
So after that terrible news and plug, Women's Survivor Series elimination match.
Oh, so we're going further down. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, before you say it yet, there's no fucking way Lana's being the sole survivor in this match.
There is no way Jay Briscoe is winning the ROH World Championship. You set yourself up for it.
We start watching this match. Before you even introduce everything, I got to get it out now. We start watching this match and look at my buddy, I go, she's either first gone or she's the last one left standing.
I said the same thing after the promo. After the promo, and they were like, she doesn't see the ring at all. She just stands at the steps. I'm like, yeah, she's the sole survivor. That's it.
You guys caught on before I did.
Yeah.
Because
It was obvious. It was
spot in this match to where the referee actually counted Lana, the only time she was in the ring, counted 3.
Yeah.
Like, it was a 3 count. She should have been eliminated, and then they just ignored it. And then I'm like, I message Sleazy and I go, wait, because I watched this yesterday. I'm like, wait, they fucked that up. Oh God, don't tell me Lana's the sole survivor. He went, LOL, it's much worse than that. So anyway, the participants in the match is Team Raw, which is Lacey Evans, Lana, which is Imo spelled backwards. Or no, I'm sorry.
What?
Anal spelled
What
backwards.
the fuck?
Wow.
It's
You don't know how to spell it all.
dude,
You don't know spell.
it's the jungle fever in me. I'm sorry, I was thinking.
Oh my God. You miss Naomi that much?
I do. I miss that. Anyway,
No, you need to go.
there you go.
I all the same. I do miss Naomi. Naomi's really good. Like she
Yeah, she is.
her own.
She's a great worker.
oh yeah,
Great
she
worker.
absolutely is.
I am shocked that she's not doing more matches again.
She might not be because of COVID, but yeah, isn't she married to? She's married to one of
One
the
of
Jimmy?
She's married to
Jimmy or Jay? I can't
Jimmy,
remember.
because
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's injured, and I think that's kind of why she's away, because I think when Jimmy comes back, she's coming back and they're joining the whole Reigns thing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So Lacey Evans, Lana, Peyton Royce, Shayna Baszler, and a woman who hurts everyone versus Team SmackDown, which is Karen, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Natasha, and Ruby Riott. 23 minutes and 20 seconds. I actually didn't mind the match except for that one botch, but then the ending happened.
What was wrong with the ending?
I hope you step on a Lego.
Putting over the shirt.
The match was, I mean, it was what it was. I think what it ended up doing, I think more than the ending itself, which was obvious that it was going to happen the minute Lana didn't move as everybody else was moving. But I think it did a lot for Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
I think this was a missed opportunity for Bianca Belair.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that it was the, proverbial put them on the map, make them notice match. You know what I mean? I think the opportunity for Bianca Belair could come in the Women's Royal Rumble. And I think that maybe this working with Nia and actually walking out of the match was probably that test. And Bianca held her own, and she made it look like she was legitimately, not scared to take it to, the bigger Nia Jax, who, typically throws people around, dominates whatever. Like Nia was, trying to do that, but Bianca was up in her face like, I'm going to punch you right in your fucking face, And so I think that the ending, when it got to the point where it was the 9 count and Nia hadn't been dipped over the guardrail yet, that's when it appeared to me that was kind of the fuck up. I think they were trying, I think the timing was off. Nia should have probably gone over the guardrail at 8. Mm-hmm. Hits the ground at 9, and then Bianca turns around and starts to head in and slides in just at the 10 count. But what ended up happening was they were like a few split seconds off, and they had already counted 10 by the time Belair got to the ring to get in. So the oversell of, wait, what? It was that, no, you were actually outside at 10. So I think they mistimed that. But I think it did a lot more for Bianca Belair. And I'm not sure what exactly it does for Lana or the story. Aside from, Lana, I'm the sole survivor, I'm the sole survivor, and then she gets put through a table again. I didn't watch Raw the next
Ryan
night.
did.
No idea. But
No, she didn't go through the table. Her and Asuka pick up a tag team victory over Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax.
Blank has been the Raw tag team or the Women's Tag Team Champions.
So they're going to be tag team champions
with Sleazy's girl.
So once again, Asuka is involved with a feud that has nothing to do with her.
Well, what else does she have to do?
She's the Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah.
Right. But what else is she? She's beating everybody. What else has she got to do?
She's got a lot of challengers, even on Raw.
You know who I thought came out really, really well during this match was actually Peyton Royce, too.
Yeah, that's another one.
Okay. Yep. I agree with that.
Did you catch
the perfect 10?
Yes.
Yep.
Where she got up there and he's like, oh, she looks like a perfect 10 to me. I lost it.
Like,
yep. I saw that. When I heard that, I was like, I see what you did there.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anyone came out of the match better than when they went in, it was Peyton Royce by far. Mm-hmm. I think that if you look at the Raw side of the team, I could see Peyton Royce being that challenger to Asuka. You know, getting like maybe an upset non-title win or something like that, and then turning
Like
that
has been the Raw Women's Champion.
Yeah, but what else you got? You know, you can't do a tournament. You know, there's not enough women on the roster that aren't doing something else. You know, so there's not much you can do with it, but there's a way that you can kind of make it work.
I'll have to take your word on that. I don't really have any plans on watching until probably around the Royal Rumble. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got another show. We got one show between now and WrestleMania, or not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, which is TLC, right?
Which is surprisingly late this year. It's the 20th.
Of December?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they were waiting to see if they would be able to do fans.
It might have
As far as
been.
I know, it was out because they didn't know where they were going to be.
That's true.
That's true, yeah. So, yeah.
Well, anyway, I give it an okay match for a house show, 2.5 stars. So then we get the main event.
Match of the night.
Huh? Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. So blue belt versus black belt.
yes,
24 minutes, 50 seconds. Yes, Ryan, it was easily the match of the night.
I fucking loved the match. I loved it.
These two went from having one of the worst matches at last year's WrestleMania to probably having the WWE match of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was fantastic.
You factor in the differences between what was going on. Like the match at WrestleMania was more about Roman's comeback from leukemia.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Than it was about him being the
story was different.
Table. Yeah, the head of the table versus McIntyre being,
Calling his shot.
I'm the guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck you, I'm the guy now. It was much, much different, a different style. Like, whereas they were trying to put over the feel-good comeback story at WrestleMania, right here, it was a legitimate, like, they gave it a big fight feel, and they were able to do that with these two in a 2-week span of time.
Mm-hmm. This is, I think, the fourth year that they've done this Raw vs. SmackDown thing. And this is the third year out of the 4 that they changed the title like 2 weeks before Survivor Series. It's weird. Like, because they did it with Styles versus Jinder Mahal. Yes, Jinder Mahal. They did it with Styles and Danielson. They didn't do it last year, I don't think, and then they did it this year.
It was Styles and Jinder Mahal,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Styles and Lesnar.
No, I'm talking about the title changes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was Styles beat Jinder Mahal, then the year later Styles lost it to Danielson, and then it was Danielson versus Lesnar. I think Lesnar defended the title last year against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, and then this year it was the 2. Yeah, so it was. It's weird how they did it, but this match was fucking fantastic. I didn't go full blown Travis, who said like Dave Meltzer doesn't get his 5 stars on really smoking. I didn't give it 5 stars, 4.5. I thought it was really fucking good.
So was it missing? What was it missing?
Your mom. Drew looked like a beast in defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Jey Uso coming down, helping. Roman Reigns not realizing it until he sees Jey was great storytelling. And like, okay, I like that. Yeah, it was fucking fantastic. And out of the champion versus champion matches, SmackDown won 3-1.
Interesting.
Well, Raw won both of the Survivor Series
matches
and the
Battle Royal.
the Battle Royal, and what was the other one?
They
the
won.
United States title.
Yeah,
one.
so technically they won it 3-3, but
it was they did a good job of evenly spreading out. I think in this and more than in years past, it feels like they did a good job of telling a more even story.
Right. Wasn't what year was it? It was 2018 where Raw clean swept.
Yeah, everything. There was one,
except for the pre-show, where the pre-show doesn't count.
Yeah, but it was like
didn't go thing with this year's pre-show counted.
Yeah, because Raw won. Sleazy.
Overall, I thought the show was the best show that they've done since they started the quarantine shows.
I was talking about Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, okay. Well, let me talk about that. Match of the night, obviously. 4.5 stars. I agree with you. I feel like that Drew came out of it looking like a fucking badass. Mm-hmm. It took 2 spears and a guillotine choke after being super kicked and a low blow. So he looks great even in defeat. He got screwed, so it kind of protects him there. Roman gets a rub in the fact that he beat, this major threat to him. He does it in a semi-shitty way, which solidifies his heel run a little bit more, and it still makes him look badass because he won.
So what I'd like to see out of this, I think, would be a build-up to next year's Survivor Series, the same match with those two. You know how they almost had AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar 2 years in a row? Mm-hmm. But then they switched it off of AJ to Bryan, and then they ended up having Lesnar against Bryan, which was a great match as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like this could be, if done right, the perfect setup to sell Survivor Series next year with these two as the champion again. Whatever they happen between now and then where they lose the belt, but then they get it back or whatever. That's, whatever. Just by Survivor Series 2021, I feel like this could be a good setup to have the rematch, champion versus champion, with McIntyre going over next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it also puts in a build, like a nice build to the next Survivor Series without sacrificing a WrestleMania.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And one of the nice parts about the Survivor Series concept, almost like bragging rights before it, is that at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Right. There's no problem if one guy goes over the other, because at the end of the day, they're still champions of their respective brands. Mm-hmm. So while the bragging rights gimmick itself was bullshit and a stupid, throwaway thing, the Survivor Series thing allows it to be more interesting because you don't see the interactions that you used to. Granted, we just had a brand, reshuffle not too long ago, so some of these matches could have happened, but to have, a guy like McIntyre go up against Roman Reigns, that's pretty cool. But also having Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley go together, that really wouldn't have happened at this point either.
Right. And I think to your point about bragging rights, with what it was, you're right. The initial bragging rights concept was a great idea, but to make it a pay-per-view when you already had the structure with Survivor Series to sort of add that to, was kind of nonsense back then. But I think they've since rectified it, because Survivor Series originally, in its original form, was team versus team. Mm-hmm. Top of the card to the bottom of the card, team versus team. And then they deviated away from that starting in, I think, 92. When I think they ended up doing like some team on team, but then they had Randy Savage and Mr. Perfect versus Razor Ramon and Ric Flair. Mm-hmm. And then the main event was Brett and Shawn. Mm-hmm. And then each year the Survivor Series just more or less became like, maybe they'd do a Survivor Series match, and then they would just do a card up and down of just tag title match and this and whatever, and it wasn't really a series. So adding the bragging rights theme to Survivor Series and centering Survivor Series around that, I think gives that a whole new meaning. Like, WrestleMania is obviously WrestleMania. Royal Rumble is the WrestleMania pregame show, if you will. It's what sets the stage for WrestleMania. But WrestleMania is WrestleMania. And then you have that period of in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam where, they used to have kind of King of the Ring thrown in the middle or whatever. You don't have that anymore. They have these little whatever pay-per-views or whatever, but then when SummerSlam comes around, it's the biggest party of the summer. They didn't have anything for Survivor Series because they were doing bragging rights, and they weren't doing the total Survivor Series elimination match, so combining those two actually made Survivor Series worth its name again.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so you know overall thoughts.
Okay, yes, okay. Like I said, best...
Well, wait, I'm sorry. Ryan just said match of the night. That's all he said. Is that it, Ryan?
Yeah, well, you guys covered basically anything else I would have touched. I mean, like I said, the booking was great. Everything made sense. Nobody got hurt by it.
All right. Okay, Sleazy, now go.
You sure?
Go ahead.
Hurry up. I'm not hooked up to my power on my laptop.
Oh my god! Oh my god! So yeah, overall show was the best show that they've had since they started the quarantines in terms of the main roster shows. I really believe that this turned the corner for them into figuring out where they're at with their respective rosters and where they're at in terms of booking. And it's kind of strange saying that considering they just had a shakeup with the head writers. So I believe that if this continues, we could have a good year going into WrestleMania this year. Excuse me. I've been drinking too much. Going into WrestleMania this year, having quite a few interesting potential feuds coming up.
John, I know you're running low on battery power.
I share that same sentiment there. I think that it was a good I think it was a good pay-per-view, certainly. Helps the setup for Royal Rumble, which will ultimately help set up for WrestleMania. I don't think they should invest in Roman versus Drew McIntyre for WrestleMania now. I think that if, smart money is talking here, you marinate it, you do the plan to have McIntyre and Roman Reigns again next year at Survivor Series as respective champions. McIntyre takes it this time, Roman's pissed, you build WrestleMania around that. Or Roman wins again, he's the heel, McIntyre can't get over that hump, he wins the Rumble again and decides to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And then, have that payoff where McIntyre beats Reigns at WrestleMania. I think that would be, I hope they don't rush into it and do it this year with those two. But overall, the pay-per-view itself, I thought was tremendous. Aside from the match that I apparently have to watch because I was shitting during it.
This is the funny thing. We didn't even talk about the last segment of the fucking show.
I would imagine there's probably good reason for that. Oh, look,
I forgot.
I watched the show specifically for the Undertaker send-off. And I was a little taken aback by, when they had all of his friends in the ring, right? And then they did the tribute video. They went through the whole ordeal to give them entrances, including the Godwins, with their greatest Godwin theme song that has never been released. And I love that freaking theme song. Mm-hmm. And I was so happy that they played it. I popped for it. But they went through all of that. You got all of Undertaker's friends in there. Fucking Savio Vega, they dug him out of the fucking grave. Savio Vega was there. And they were all there. And then they show the Undertaker video. And then they're all gone, and it's Vince McMahon nearly in tears. And so I'm like, okay, I get that. I get that part. But where is, his friends? What was the point of bringing them out? Right. If they weren't going to be there in person for his final promo, and then he does the promo, in character, which I get because, the whole story about The Undertaker was the mystique and everything, but had he kind of not spent the last year introducing everybody to Mark Calloway. I think that it might have, the character retirement might have had a little bit more tear-jerking power or something like that, you know, but because Undertaker has shown out to be a human after all and is telling stories now which are tremendous, and I'm so glad he's doing it because they're just awesome to hear.
Oh yeah.
I was more hoping that after, you know, his final promo would be a from the heart, like American Badass Taker, kind of like his WrestleMania 36 persona, basically, where he combined basically all three elements of the Undertaker. You know, the Dead Man, the American Badass, and Mark Calloway. They were all kind of combined together in his final WrestleMania appearance. I thought we would be getting something like that, and instead what we got was the Undertaker, the character. I like the Paul Bearer tribute. I thought that was a wonderful touch, but I left that feeling like, I think if I want to have the feels about an Undertaker retirement, I'll watch The Last Ride again.
From a guy that spent his entire life idolizing the man of The Undertaker, you know, watching his career from when I was literally 5 years old, you know, watching him, 6 years old, all the way to now. And the Paul Bearer tribute notwithstanding, everyone who knows me knows that I am probably one of the biggest Paul Bearer marks in the world. I'm the biggest, you know, Bill Moody fan, you know, of every single character he's ever done has been always, you know, touched me. My character in wrestling is partially based off of Paul Bearer. You know, they've had so much of an effect on me personally as well as professionally because a lot of Taker's matches got me through a dark time in my life after my father died. You know, so the feelings I have about Undertaker and Fat Man will tell you, you know, if I'm in a live show and Undertaker's coming out, I'm standing up, I'm not saying a word.
Dick out, fully rocked, with a microscope and tweezers, jerking it off.
That too. But in all honesty, he's had more of an effect on me professionally and personally than any other professional wrestler ever. So
Piper for me, I get it.
Yeah. So to come into this show and seeing that, first of all, haha, nice rib on Glenn Jacobs. Everyone comes out in a suit and he just walks out in fucking full gear and is like, fuck you guys. Not notwithstanding, it was one of the most lackluster send-offs I probably have ever seen in the professional wrestling industry. And part of me feels like that was intentional. Mainly for a couple of different reasons. Number one, my heart of hearts believes that he'll never work a real match again. There's no way. He's 55. But I could see him doing something similar to what he did with Cena at 34.
Yeah, the one we were at.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember it was 33 or 34. Where he just comes in, chokeslam, tombstone, whatever. I could see him doing that one more time. Number two, he didn't do something that he's done once before. And from a man who's been in the business for 30 years, he's a old school motherfucker. He didn't leave his shit in the ring.
Mm. That was one thing that stood out to me too. That, but also what he said at the end of Broken Skull Sessions.
Yeah.
Where he sort of, gave the whole I'm content kind of thing, but, you know, sort of left out there. I don't remember the exact verbiage he used.
The passion's still there.
Right. So I thought about it afterward, and I thought that maybe this was just to kind of put the 30 years to the day spin on that event. And I think maybe they're waiting and hoping for when they can have an arena full of people again to give him that official, like, you know, come in,
That's it.
tombstone, one final WrestleMania moment with everybody in full chanting, "Thank you, Taker, thank you, Taker." I think if Survivor Series had happened in front of a regular arena, I think it would have had a different feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actual crowd pouring emotion there, it would have been very visual on his face, because you can't replicate that with television screens and fake sound.
Right. And
You can't replicate that.
And I will say this, that had they had done that and had they had promoted that, I would have flown anywhere in the country to have seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Some asshole scalper was getting a couple of grand out of my fucking bank account so I could see that.
Just to be there.
Because from a personal, like I said, from a personal and professional standpoint, that means so much to me. You know, I was lucky enough to see the last, you know, victory in a streak with CM Punk.
For your
Yeah, we did.
and I'm gonna have to drop off after this, but I hope that for your sake you get the opportunity either to see that or to talk to him. Like, I had the opportunity to actually have a phone conversation with Roddy Piper in 2008.
Wow.
And it was like, you know, I'm not somebody that really displays emotions unless it's, you know, about my kids or something like that very well. But, I had the opportunity. He was working at this place called, Northeast Wrestling. The promoter of, Next Era Wrestling out here, was actually going there to work that show. I couldn't go with him because I couldn't find a replacement at work. But it was a show. Booker T was on that show, and he was actually wrestling. And then they were doing a In the Pit with Piper on there on that show. And Johnny Swift is his name. He actually called me. He walks up to Piper and says, "My friend is a very, very big fan of yours. He's called you his Babe Ruth, his wrestling Babe Ruth. I kind of want to surprise him with a phone call. Do you think you might be able to, you know, talk to him?" And he was like, "Sure, hell yeah, call him." Well, he calls me, and I'm thinking, anybody that calls me, you know, that knows me, they call me, I don't fucking answer the phone. You could text me, you know what I mean? So I looked at that fucking same thing. I was just like, I'm at work, and I know he's probably gonna fucking, you know, talk. Oh man, Piper's cool, blah blah blah, and I don't want to fucking hear that shit. So I ignore it. It goes to voicemail. I get a voicemail. Swift doesn't ever leave voicemails. You know, he'll call, and then if, you know, I goes to voicemail, he'll just shoot a text. But a voicemail popped up, so I listened. "Hey, JC, it's Roddy Piper. You know, this and this and that is going on. You know, I need you out here, man. Come get me. You know, I'll get your buddy Swift here with his pumpkin, his blah, 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 this." And I'm sitting there and I'm listening. I'm like, no way.
It's gotta be a fucking rib, right?
So I call him back, and he picks up the phone. I was like, "You ribbing me?" He was like, "Dude, what are you?" And he was like, "What are you fucking doing right now?" I was like, "I'm at work, but like, were you ribbing me?" He was like, "Go into the fucking break room or a conference room or something." And I was like, "Okay." So I went into the break room, and he walks up. He goes, "Excuse me, Mr. Piper. My friend called back." He goes, "Oh, JC called." He grabs the phone.
Wow.
And he goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And he goes, "Hey," and I was like, sorry. You probably get this a lot. I'm pretty fucking starstruck right now, you know, and I actually had the opportunity to tell him, that it was him that inspired me to get him, because, and you know, for him, you know, being in the era of pro wrestling that he was in, he was the land of the giants. He wasn't a big guy in comparison. So that, for me, being a smaller guy, was like, okay, well, I mean, I'm smaller than Piper, but Piper still beat up a big guy. I could probably beat up a Piper, right? You know? Mm-hmm. And I told him that. I was like, you know, it was that. It was your crazy antics and things like that. That got me through some time, and it was great. And I had the opportunity to thank him for being that. I said, I don't need, you know, an autograph or any of that type of stuff. I just want to tell you thank you, because what you've done inspired me to do the same thing in hopes that I could do that for someone else. And he was like, I'm speechless, you know, like, he's like, honestly, he goes, I'm just another guy that just happened to get lucky. Wow. That's it. And I was like, you know, he was very humble. He was very personable. I cried when he died. When he died, I was in tears. That's how, so I get, how you describe The Undertaker to you. I get that. So I hope that you could you eventually maybe pay the $1,000 for the cameo.
Yeah. I'm one of the money marks. Duh. Obviously.
Hey guys, I have to drop off though.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry for taking up the first 2 hours of your time with my long-windedness. Now here's for the next 2 hours to talk about AEW's pay-per-view. Here's the rest of the guys.
Thank you for coming on. As always, go to GERE Network to check out all the wonderful shows, including our show and including the JC Money Show and the listening, the podcast. Thank you again for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
You guys, congratulations on 8 years, and here's to 8 more, y'all.
Holy shit.
Thanks,
we're doing this 8 more years. Fuck.
Thanks,
Cheers.
John.
Okay, you fucking marks. Let's talk about AEW.
No, okay, I'm going to call you a fucking mark. Taker's done, dude. He's done.
He is absolutely not done.
He's fucking done.
I don't give a fuck.
John,
He
if John
is.
didn't fucking leave, I would have said, okay, now to put you guys back to fucking reality. He's done.
He is not. He is done with
done,
He's absolutely done when it comes to a full match. 100%.
This motherfucker messes me today and says, I'm going to screenshot this.
I will.
He fucking said.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking said, because he said The Undertaker is going to rest in peace. Not Mark Calloway. There's no way Mark Calloway is going to do another fucking gimmick in his fucking life.
It's not going to be a gimmick.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to be a gimmick, though.
He's done. He's done.
It's going to be American Badass, and he's going to come out, he's going to choke slam, he's going to tombstone, and that'll be it.
He's done.
He's not done.
He's done. He might make one-offs here and there, but he's done.
Yeah, everything's a fucking work, okay, man?
He's done.
Everything's a work.
Let's talk about an overrated piece of shit.
Yes. Yes, I do want this. I didn't know I needed this in my life.
2 hours and 40 minutes to talk about. And I got news and rumors, which I will save for next show because we are running late.
We are way late, but
so I will do those news and rumors. At least I got them. We'll talk about them.
Yeah.
Full Gear, February, November 7th.
My mother's birthday, by the way. Ryan's just fucking gone.
Oh, I see him.
Oh, there he is.
Ryan's here. Ryan's going for a cigarette.
Yeah, a cigarette.
Okay, so show opens up with the tournament final for the number one contendership for the, I don't know why I put that quotation marks. For the AEW.
The actual real thing.
For the number one contendership for the AEW Championship. Kenny Omega versus Adam Page. The match went 16 minutes and 25 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer gave it 4.5 stars.
What?
Ryan. People said Ryan.
So, I feel like even with the little amount of fans there, and it was a good match, it wasn't a 4.5 or a 4.25 star match. I mean, I would add 3 this, and you know how much I hate picking on star and giving star ratings. I would have said 3 at least. You put that in a stadium with X of thousands of 20 and 30,000 amount of people, that gets a better rating because the atmosphere is there, but I wouldn't go 4.
another reason why I think Dave Meltzer, it's all over this fucking show. I gave it 3.5.
So,
a full star rating less. I thought it was a really good match. Both men had a sense of urgency, and it didn't go as long as I thought it would because it's AEW, like to have 30-minute matches. But I thought it was a good thing, and I still thought it was just a really good match. It was still a really good match, but 3.5 stars.
It was a good match. You're absolutely right, and you're absolutely right on the rating. You're going to hear over the course of this show one thing.
Fuck Dave. Yep. And fuck Dave Meltzer. Sleazy's really good at that.
I get a lot of practice.
yeah.
Not as much as Dave, though.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like I when I saw his star ratings, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? All right, so we all agree it was a really good match, but it wasn't fucking epic like fuck Dave Meltzer says. Orange Cassidy versus John Silver, match went 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer gave it 3.5 stars. Sleazy.
It was nice. It was a nice, cool match, but
For a pre-show.
I mean, yeah, it would have been a great pre-show match. And don't get me wrong, I love Orange Cassidy. I love the gimmick. I also really enjoy John Silver, but this match wasn't.
That was pre-show.
It wasn't a super amazing match. It wasn't a bad. I'd give it 2.5 stars. It was okay.
Comedy match for the first half, series for the second. It was an okay match for a house show, 2.5 stars.
But no, we're not doing a house show. Remember, it's an okay match for the pre-show now.
No, you can't change our gimmick. Fuck off.
House shows don't exist.
It's like, remember how you have the save button be like the floppy disk, even though the floppy disks don't exist anymore? That's the same thing now.
Yeah.
What's a house show? You wouldn't understand.
Okay, fair enough.
AEW TNT Championship. Cody Rhodes now. We got the Rhodes name get back.
I'm glad for him.
Round kid.
With all due respect, wow.
I can be more rude now that JC's not here no more. And he's
You can be rude all you want. Here's the thing. When I was looking at news and rumors, Cody Rhodes like, yeah, I got the Cody Rhodes name back, but I don't think I'm going to use it in wrestling. Literally that night he uses it. Fucking idiot. Anyway, go ahead, Sleazy.
With all due respect to Cody and that shit, I'm glad he got the name back. I'm glad he's able to use it. I'm glad he...
Oh, so am I.
You know, that was a piece of his legacy that he deserved to have. Because at the end of the day, it is his name. Mm-hmm. Even though it's not his name, it is his name.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Meltzer probably gave this 5.5 stars. He's out of his fucking mind. It was, and once again, I like Darby Allin, you know, or Mr. Allen, or All In. Excuse me. I fucked up my own gimmick. Mr. All In. But this was a match that was decent. You know, it wasn't anything that was a big, huge deal. And it was especially nerfed by the post-show beatdown.
Cody's other matches with Darby Allin were a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the pre-match vignette to hype up the match, Cody says that he likes telling realistic stories. I laughed my fucking ass off because every time we talk about an AEW pay-per-view, it makes no sense. Who's the face in this match?
Darby Allin.
So Cody comes out as the face because, you know, they pop Cody Rhodes. Wrestles as a heel. And then in the post-match beatdown is a face again. Oh, by the way, I thought the match was good. The weight belt spot where Cody or Darby rode him out rolled him up with a weight belt. I thought that should have been the end, especially if we're going to do a flash pin anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well have done that.
Yeah, I don't know why they decided to do something different.
I gave it 3 stars. It was a good match.
Yeah.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Gave it
6.5 stars.
4.5 stars.
God damn it. You know.
I told Sleazy that there was one match on this show that he rated a full 2 stars higher than I did.
And I was wrong with which one it was going to be, too.
So the first match was 1 star difference. Second match was 1 star. Third match was 1.5 stars, so a full Baron Corbin match.
Holy shit. It was a full Baron Corbin match.
AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida defends against Nyla Rose. Match went 14 minutes 10 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer. Gave it 3.25.
That's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Slightly above average match. I think their Double or Nothing match was better. Vicky Guerrero was comically bad in this match.
I still don't understand why she's there.
I don't either.
And I thought
Jericho gives Nyla Rose a mouthpiece.
Nyla Rose doesn't need a mouthpiece. That's the thing.
Nyla Rose does.
I don't think so. I think that she would be perfect as a silent, deadly type. But that's not even how they're portraying the relationship as. She's perfect in, I hate to say it this way, but it's true, the Nia Jax typeset. Arrive, beat the shit out of somebody, injure them, and then leave. You know, that's a legit gimmick. Just because it's being done in the other Fed doesn't mean that it isn't any less legitimate.
Yeah, I gave it 3, or not 3, 2.75.
There's an Asian in the match, so obviously 6 stars.
Obviously 6 stars.
Like 100% obvious. It wasn't as good as the 9-star classic at Survivor Series, but it was 6 stars.
AEW Tag Team Championship. FTR defends against the Young Bucks. Match went 28 minutes and 35 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer. Gave it
9 stars.
5.25 stars.
Side note, I just zoomed in on, I've been doing this call with all the multiple screens.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Man, I just read your shirt and I popped.
That's our shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get that shirt and other shirts now on thewrestlingshow.com under our merch store tab. Let's put that fucker over.
So, Matt selling the leg the whole match, but Matt did a jumping nothing to give FTR the advantage because Sleazy loves jumping nothings. I'm loving the class. I love the classic finishers in it where they did they even mentioned DIY by name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those callbacks to DIY and revival matches.
Mm-hmm.
With the whole double tap out thing, which normally it was in a different company I would not have liked, but I think it worked here.
I think it worked because they did other things from other teams from other eras.
I thought this match was absolutely fantastic. The one thing I did not like was actually the finish. Matt hitting one super kick with his injured leg finally beats him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I fucked about. Other than that, it might be the tag team match of the year, 4.75 stars.
Okay. My complaint about the finish was that, the complaint around the internet about the finish was the fact that Dax did the 450, the springboard 450 that cost him the match. And
I didn't mind this spot.
I'm kind of on the fence with it, mainly because if they did more desperate, it didn't justify the desperation, if that makes any sense. I have to do something that they would have done to try and beat them. That's really not what happened there. They did it just because they could show off and say, well, I can do a springboard 450. You know what I mean? And their hubris caught them. I think if they framed it more of, I gotta do something to stop the best tag team in the fucking world, I think it would have come off better. And I think the having him lose by a super kick actually would have been worse had he rather rolled him up instead. I think it would have been better.
Me too. I think he should have done the 450, missed it, and then rolled him up.
Yes. That's how I think I would have booked it, honestly. Mm-hmm. But what the fuck do I know?
What the fuck do you know?
Sleazy, what was your rating?
4.5 stars.
Ryan, you're the tag team wrestling enthusiast.
I honestly was disappointed in this match because I think it could have been a lot better than what it was. I don't know if the injury was legitimate or not, and that kind of forced its way into it. And I think the wrong team went over. It was stupid when they were like, oh, we won't challenge for the tag belts again. I think they shouldn't have put that stipulation on it, and they should have lost FTR first. And FTR got the first win of the trilogy that they're going to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you feel like they pulled the trigger too early on this?
Yes.
I felt that way too.
I did too.
The Bucks said in the interview that they didn't want the belts for another year, and Tony Khan was like, no, you're getting the belts. I want to put them on you soon. I just think that's an example. It's an example of a money mark doing something for his friends that shouldn't have been done, but they only did it for the pop, but there was no pop because you didn't have a big crowd.
Right.
Yeah. Here's the other thing about it that kind of throws me through a loop is that why didn't you finish the show with this? This was the big build up to, honestly, the only major dream match in the company right now.
You have to close the show with this.
You have to close the show with that. Even if it's the first.
You have to close the show with the I Quit match.
And that's my complaint, though, is that they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have had that match and the Bucks revival match.
They're trying to sell pay-per-views, Lizzie.
Yeah, but you don't do both.
Well, they did.
I know. That's my complaint. That's my complaint about it. And it goes back to, well, what do you do?
Well, they did both.
Yeah. When's their next show?
Speaking of complaining, Elite Deletion match.
Now, what is your problem with the Elite Deletion match?
Fuck ye!
In my notes, I said, this was nowhere near as bad as the stupid-ass Broken Universe shit. I didn't mind this at all. I didn't rate it because it wasn't really a thing, but I actually did not mind this. It wasn't as hokey. It wasn't as stupid as the other shit. It was more realistic.
Was it?
And then Sleazy marked out for Gangrel.
Yes, I did. I absolutely did. I marked out for Gangrel. I marked out for Greg Helms in multiple situations.
I marked out for the whole. Where were you guys? Like, you're supposed to save me. He's like, oh, I had to actually come to AEW for us to pay this off.
Yeah.
That I did. I thought it was funny. I didn't mind this at all.
That's what they call long-term booking. There's a lot of little bits in there and that I really enjoyed. What I didn't enjoy about the match was the finish. The finish was too much.
I mean, like, realistically, just think about what it was. Like, the finish is perfect for that kind of match.
Yeah. My problem is that you walk too close to reality there. You just had a match where Matt Hardy legit knocked himself out on a very, very similar spot. and to almost poke fun at it by having him crack his head open on concrete, it's poor taste.
I don't think he poked fun at it.
Well, it wasn't poking fun. It was
a callback.
It was an in poor taste callback.
This.
I know, and I have a problem with it. I do, and it's hard to articulate why I have a problem with it, other than the fact that I can say that it's.
Thought it was they took a real situation
and turned it into work.
Into work, yeah. And
they did it in a way that I felt was in poor taste. I guess I don't know. We and this hasn't been the first time they've done shit like this. So, nope. Whatever, I guess. Fuck it, Fuck it. I'm not going to rate it because it wasn't really a match, too. So, right. So it makes no difference.
Chris Jericho versus MJF. If MJF wins, he's in the inner circle. 16 minutes and 12 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer gave this 3.5 stars.
Was this the 2 stars over?
Yes, it fucking was.
Yeah.
Why should I care about 2 heels fighting each other when one of the heels, if he wins, joins a heel faction? Why should I care?
So here's the great difference.
And then they hug after the match like it was all planned. It wasn't, but it's like they hug the match doing it, and then they do a stupid ass fucking Vegas thing on fucking Dynamite.
While COVID's happening.
Well, they could have just had him join the group. What was the point of the match?
There was none. There absolutely was none.
And the match was boring as fuck. 1.5 stars.
Yeah, it was.
Worst match on the show. What? 3.5 stars for this shit? Fuck Dave Meltzer. This is garbage fucking booking, garbage fucking match.
With no heat behind it. Because it was 2 heels.
I'm done.
Here's the thing. This is the exact difference. You have this match, which is 2 heels pitted against each other, and having a garbage match against 2 legit great wrestlers. MJF, which, my history with him notwithstanding, and Chris fucking Jericho, who's been having great matches. For his age, yes, he's having great matches. No. Compare it with the other. What's that?
Is this a point of contention?
He's been having good matches, not great matches.
Whatever. Point being is the difference.
Is not one of them.
Oh, absolutely not. The difference is this versus the other heel versus heel match in WWE, Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley, was done well, but was also a heel versus heel match. So you have to look at it from a booking perspective and say...
A heel versus heel match with no story behind it versus a heel versus heel match with a story behind it in AEW. And it was still trash.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And that actually goes to my point even more. They had time to put this together. That match was probably thrown together 2 weeks beforehand because they had to because, oh shit, they're both champions. And they didn't want to pull the belts off of either one of them. So, what the fuck are you doing? So,
3.5 stars, my fucking ass.
Well, at least he didn't have a mimosa match with him.
Oh my god.
My comment on this match is not really the match entirely. I think it was another example of a wasted opportunity of not having MJF take over the inner circle and turn Jericho face.
I think that's coming. I really do. They're slow playing it, but they could have done it without having a match. They just pretty much. I actually kind of agree with you. If they was going to happen, it should have happened in this match. Now they wasted the match to potentially have another match down the road.
Here's what they could have easily done. Done the exact same finish. And then as they're hugging and blah, 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 everyone just dogpiles on Jericho.
Yeah.
Issue solved.
No, I
Why
know.
not?
Or don't have the match and then
Or don't have the
later.
match. Yeah. Or don't
do it
have.
later.
Wow, I said that before about a particular tag team match earlier.
It was dumb. Sleazy, what'd you give this?
1 star.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
It was bad. It shouldn't have. There was no right for this to be as bad as it was.
No.
But they fucked themselves because of the story.
Main event time. I Quit match for the AEW Championship. Jon Moxley defends against King of the 2-star match, Eddie Kingston. Match went 17 minutes and 35 seconds. Fuck Dave Meltzer gave it 4.5 stars. Fuck you. That's all I'm
Didn't
saying.
like the match.
Fuck you. Actually, I thought the match was good. I thought it was a good match.
Was it 2 stars?
It was a good match.
It was the king of the 2-star match had a bigger match than 2 stars. Apparently.
I'm not sleazy. 2 stars match was fucking awesome. 4.5 stars on match was shit. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was a good match. That's it. Nothing really special to write home out. I'm glad to see someone actually say I quit in an I quit match. It didn't really. It was a TV program that happened to have a stip. That's
Wow.
Which was the better I Quit match over the past 3 weeks?
what was the other one?
Reigns and Jey Uso?
Oh yeah, Reigns Jey Uso was better. Had a better
Main
story.
event Jey. Again.
It had a better story. Yeah, it's still a good match. It was meh for a good match. Like, didn't change the I Quit gimmick. It seems like Moxley's having these stipulation matches just to have them.
Because he's a hardcore wrestler. That's what he does.
That's my problem with them. They're forcing it to have these matches. It's dumb.
I'm sorry.
I get to throw this whole notebook away because that was the last page.
Sweet.
Okay.
That didn't make the sound I thought it was going to make, honestly. But
There's no pages in it.
I'm not going to go as far as, filleting Dave Meltzer.
No, it's still fuck Dave Meltzer.
FFDM? No, I like filleting Dave Meltzer.
You can say tip lady.
I love the match though. And that shouldn't be a surprise anyway, because I was invested in the match before it even happened. I loved the promos going up to it. I loved everything about it. I loved, the
Hey, Sleazy.
yeah.
Ryan just sent us a picture in the chat. TheWrestlingShow.com has expired.
Really?
Yep.
I just updated that.
Our domain broker server may be able to get it for you.
Again, side note though, I get what you're saying, Sleazy. Everything about that feud, like the program, has been fantastic.
Oh no, the promos were actually really good.
Yeah.
They just forced the I Quit stipulation because ... just to have it.
I'm going to have to look at that. I don't know why that did that. So I'll look into that before the night's up. But, yeah, so I was, I've watched Eddie Kingston's career up to this point, I know Fat Man's not a huge fan of him, but I am. And his matches haven't always been the greatest. His promos have been. I always loved his promos, but his matches haven't always been the greatest, especially when he was working in Chikara. But this match, I loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. There's at least 2 Chikara marks on this show right now, so you're out out of line, sir. You're out of line.
Who
Calm the fuck down, fat
fucking
man.
loves Chikara?
Anywho,
Which doesn't exist anymore, by the way.
I know. But this match tied up almost a career. If you look at this from the perspective of, fuck, this could be Eddie Kingston's last match ever, I think he should retire after it because it's perfect. It's a perfect ending to his story.
But they didn't give you one indication that was going to happen.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying that in the fact that the booking up to that point and the promos up to that point were giving a sense of personalism that was lacking in pretty much every feud in AEW up to this point.
This is true.
And
But it wasn't personal enough to have an I Quit match, though.
I disagree. Because, and once again, this goes back to the whole,
You got to do your work first. You had to follow these guys throughout their whole career to get the story, which is stupid for a weekly TV show.
when you are trying to put something like that together, you don't need to follow their entire career. They told everything you needed to know over the few weeks of Dynamite leading up to it.
Still does not justify an I Quit match.
It does. It does because they justified the level of violence that was needed.
Nope.
And they used it properly to blow off the feud.
Right.
Program is done between the two of them now.
Yeah, there is
what an I Quit match should be.
Yeah. Eddie Kingston's never challenging for that title again. It's not WWE. He will not challenge for that title while it's around Moxley's waist. Because this is as definitive of a loss he could possibly have had.
I'm not questioning that. It does not need to be an I Quit match.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
No,
because that's Eddie Kingston for you.
No.
You can say no all you want. You are absolutely
tap out and say I quit. Like
he has every right to his incorrect opinion, okay?
You keep saying that, but I'm right. You got something else right in news and rumors, but we'll do that another time. But it's actually the same thing you've been right about the last couple times.
That's 3 in a row?
No, it's technically 1,
But it's been 3 times.
but it's been on 3 different shows.
I'll take it.
But no, it did not need to be an I Quit match.
You can say that, but you're wrong.
I can say, but I'm right.
You're wrong.
I'll be stepping on a fucking leg.
You're not.
God damn it.
I'll be
I'm
fucking
not.
get fucking ALS. I hope you get
Oh
fucking,
my God.
I hope you get fucking butt herpes. I don't give a shit.
Unbelievable.
The show was a mess show that Dave Meltzer completely just fucking.
Oh, you overrated the fuck out of it. Because he's not on the payroll.
Oh, wait. What'd you get the fucking I Quit match?
Give it 4 stars. You knew that was coming after I just docked it up.
You overrated
Yeah, fuck you.
piece of motherfucking donkey shit. You're not even good as cow shit.
like-
You're donkey shit.
you're just being fucking judgmental because Eddie Kingston's in the match.
That could be true. But I
Absolutely
gave it 3
correct.
stars, not 2.
Well, here's the other thing. He's not a fan of Moxley either.
I like Moxley. I just don't understand why he needs to have hardcore matches to have them. That's my problem. Like,
Because he's John Moxley.
yeah, but that's not the point. The point is, oh, hey, I know you from years ago. Let's have an I Quit match. Okay, cool, sweet. That was the feud.
He's got a pregnant wife at home.
Yeah, so let's keep having hardcore matches so he can't, grow up with his kid. He's a fucking idiot. I love Moxley. I do. It's just, there's no logic behind the matches. That's my problem. So it's every AEW show we've ever talked about.
In a
The
nutshell.
booking is bad.
The matches are good, the booking's bad.
That's the good book. He's bad.
Okay. So pretty much everyone's thought on this was it was a decent show that Dave Meltzer sucked off.
Overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only overrated,
Like, significantly.
significantly overrated. I can't grab my notebook now.
The
but there's
only
like-
one that he didn't overrate was Hikaru
Yeah, he did.
Shida versus
Was what?
Nyla Rose.
Of course he did, because there's an Asian in it.
Exactly. I rated it higher than he did.
Would you rate it?
6 stars.
Real rating, seriously.
Oh, it was garbage. It was like 2.5 stars. The botch spot just killed it for me, but yeah. But anywho,
Got news and rumors. We'll do it another time.
yeah, we are.
It is 11:15 at night on the East Coast. It's probably, what is it, like 1 o'clock in the morning over there, Brandon?
Brandon.
Wow.
Ian, whatever fucking name you are.
Wow.
Buckmaster Gotch. The biggest scotch of them all.
Yes.
Fat fuck gotch.
Fat fuck. What? Yeah. So let's close this out. 8th anniversary show. Thank you guys for 8 years of wonderful, just being able to follow us on our journey. 2 assholes with a $3 mic doing a wrestling show, has always been the thought process behind all of this. We've grown so much as performers here. We've grown so much as people. We've grown so much as idiots watching wrestling.
Well, I've grown as a person, all right. Oh, look at that belly. Look at that belly. Yeah.
Are you done? I was having a heartfelt moment and you fucked it. Which is par for the course for this show.
You're right for once. We've grown as people.
Yeah, damn, I'm fucking right. God damn it. Put on way too much weight.
Actually, the funniest thing is since the start of the show till now, I'm actually way less.
I took that weight. I got on the scale. It was 291. So,
God damn, I was 230.
oh, fuck.
When we started the show, I was actually 260.
And I was right around the same weight.
And I actually blew up more. And then I had
I
this.
hate the movie. I've lost weight. I'm down to 422.
You just want to lose 2 more pounds.
I do, yeah.
Ah,
God damn it. Ryan, thank you for coming on the show. And celebrating this night with us.
appreciate it. Unlike Chip, he a bitch.
Chip's a bitch, as usual.
Travis ghosted us.
Yeah, he ghosted us, but whatever. Thanks once again to John Cimino for coming on the show, JC Money. You can find his shows, the JC Money Show, and listen in the podcast, as well as all the other shows that we listen to here on the GERE Network, including me, All Bets Are Off. Oh my God. I don't know why I couldn't get that out. And of course, The Wrestling Show with Sleazy and the Fat Man. You can find our stuff at WrestlingShow.com when it's back up. Also, you can check out GearNetwork.com, go down to the Support Our Shows tab, check out some of the stuff that's out there. But that's pretty much it for the show. Thank God. 3.5 hours almost. So for Sleazy,
For the Fat Man.
this is The Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun. I'm the pain in the game. The bloodshed in your name. When there's nothing to gain, I'm a world gone sad.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the GERE Network.